Hey, babe. Don't forget we gotta get ready in 2 hours for that event, okay?
I got so much to do. How am I ever gonna get this done?
Jay, so do we need to cancel? What are you wearing? It's game night.
All right, you guys, Dave Max 6. We are back at the Dragon's Lair, Las Vegas, and I have the great pleasure to have for the second time on JayTV, Peyton Hunton. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
So we had you last year for the very first time, shortly before the USA, if I remember well. We were at Fit Club back then. The Dragon's Lair was not open. You did your first USA, and you're going back this year, looking tremendous, I can see. So I wanted to talk a little bit about last year's USA, and how was that for your first experience on a national stage? Tell me a little bit about it.
Last year, USA was incredible. It was a really well-run show. I felt really confident going into it, but the caliber of athletes that go to USA's is insane. It's a totally different step. I didn't even realize, there's like a level here. I didn't realize there's like another 3 levels to this. So it was really cool to be around it. It was very motivational, and I was really happy with my placing last year, especially.
What did you do?
Top 5.
Ooh, first time?
Yeah, first time.
That's an achievement, you're not the USA.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, when I was up there and they had one number left to call and mine was the last one, I was like, oh man, I was not ready for that. So I was really, really happy with my placing.
How many competitors in your class? Because I know at the USA it is stacked, especially in bikinis and girls. There's a ton of people doing the USA. Do you remember how many people were in your class?
I believe there was 30 some girls in my class.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like
Wow.
30, 32 girls.
So top 5 first time. You must have been ecstatic. Did you have any expectation when you went over there? Were you like, okay, if I make top 10 or top 6, that's a win for me? What did you have in mind? What were you hoping for?
All I was hoping for was first call-outs.
Okay.
That's all I was ready for. I didn't care about placing. I just wanted to get that first call-out.
Well, that's pretty high expectation already. Just so you know.
You might as well shoot high.
That's true, because if you're like, I would be okay with second, third call out, sometimes you do worse. It's a very good point. So, hadn't gone to the USA last year and realized how good the athletes were up close and personal. Did that kind of made you reevaluate your prepping, your off season, your diet, all that stuff? It must have really lit a burner under you for sure.
Oh, it definitely did. It lit a fire in me that I've never felt before. The motivation for me to take a real off season and to grow and to really focus on putting more food into my body, train heavier, lift heavier. I know I needed to change my whole entire training and just approach to a next competition, and that's what I did this off season.
Did you get some feedback from the judges after last year?
I did. They recommended me. They wanted me to put on a couple more pounds of muscle. They said maybe about 5 pounds of muscle. So far, we put on about 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big on someone your size. How tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Yes, that's hard to tell on camera. And how much do you weigh right now?
Right now, I'm 112.
Okay, 112. What were you at last year?
102.
Wow. Yeah, 10 pounds. There you go. Wow, that's huge in 1 year. That's unbelievable.
It's crazy. I never realized how important food was for your growth, and it was just we started packing in some food, and I just started seeing my body completely change.
Were you after competing only at the local level, and then you go to the USA for the first time, and the USA arguably is probably one of the toughest show to become a pro at. Everybody wants to have that title, Miss or Mr. USA. Not that the other ones are not tough, but that's an especially tough one, I feel. Were you nervous when you were back? How was your frame of mind when you were backstage and you start, taking your clothes off and you look at everyone, everyone looks good. I don't know if it's like that for you, but
Everybody looked absolutely incredible. But when I get back there and I see these amazing athletes, it lights a fire in me, and it makes me excited to get up on stage. And
not nervous?
No, I never get nervous going on stage. That's the least worry in my mind is going on stage. The only thing that like makes me nervous is like messing up my tan or anything like that. Because I mean, once you're there, the work is done. All you got to do is get up there, smile, and showcase what you worked hard for.
So you must be feeling ready every time you stepped on stage, because I mean, that's the feeling you get when you know you've done everything you could possibly do, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Whereas if you possibly could have done a bit more cardio or died a little harder, then I think that's maybe where the nerves comes in.
Yeah, definitely. I know going into certain preps, like when I first started, like I was like, oh, I can slack off a little bit here and there. No, every little thing that you slack off on adds up. So this prep, I gave it 130%. And I knew every time I was tired and I didn't want to do that extra 10 minutes of cardio, I was like, no, just close your eyes, put your head down, because that 10 minutes will add up throughout your prep over 16 weeks.
So you were training at Fit Club when we filmed last year. You're not at the Dragon's Lair. When did you come here? Right at the beginning, or in March, April? When did you come to train here?
I came as soon as it opened. So
March, I think.
Yeah, I think that's when I believe that was whenever the opening was. Yeah.
And how is it to train here?
It's amazing. The energy and the vibe that's in here is like no other. I can come in here on like my worst days ever, my low carb days, feeling terrible, and then I see everybody that's around here and just the motivation and just how people bring you up. It's an incredible feeling. Like I could be dying trying to push up 30s and somebody's going to come up behind me and help me and press it and tell me to keep going, and it's just so nice to be in a gym that everybody has each other's back. Everybody knows we have the same common goal. We want to get better. We want to grow. We want to be the top athletes, but everybody's here to help each other out, which is incredible. And you can just feel the energy when you walk in.
Yeah, I always say, it's nice. The equipment is, there's a lot of great gyms all over the world, but I think the people in it is what really makes the gym. And I think the culture and the people who are training in a certain location and how serious they are about their goals and their dreams rubs off on everybody else.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
And especially working out here with the world-renowned Olympians and IFBB pros, like how can you not have inspiration and like motivation all around you? It's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've worked, you have been training under Justin Dees at the Dragon's Den, which runs the whole place. Well, he's the gatekeeper. We'll have him. I would love to know a little bit what you did different compared to last year. So I'm going to have him come in for a second. Justin, come over here, buddy. I have some technical questions for you. So this is Justin Dees. He's the GM of the Dragon's Lair. Thank you for being on JayTV, man.
You bet. Glad to be here.
We've had a few cameos with you, but I want to have you today, not as a GM, but as a coach, as a good coach. You came from Utah, had a ton of clients over here. We spoke about that a little bit earlier. So you brought your knowledge here at the Dragon's Lair. Tell me a little bit about Peyton and what you've done with her for this prep for the USA.
Well, I started working with Peyton about 7 months ago, and she has a great structure, beautiful look, and all that. And like she said, the feedback she got was she needed some more muscle. And so we incorporated a lot more food and a lot more heavy training, right? More like a bodybuilder type training, so we could bring up everything that we needed to. And yeah, it was really cool because she stayed lean. She got to eat a lot more food. So that when we started her contest prep, and she had put on this muscle, and she did great. She does everything I say, like everything. So she's an easy client. Yeah. She's an easy client to work with because she'll just execute what you say, and then that makes your job so much easier. But yeah, I was really happy. We added a lot of shape to her legs, her glutes, her shoulders. We were able to keep her weight small. Her off-season weight got up to like 120. I think, right?
Yeah.
That's only 8 pounds away from contest. That's not a lot. That's great.
Yeah. And so, I think she looks amazing. Yeah. I'm just really happy. I'm excited for her.
Was she when you review what she did last year for her prep? So is one of the first things that you noticed that she was actually under eating, and that's why it was like an issue for her to be able to look the way she does now?
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't realize if you want to gain, let's say, 10 pounds of muscle, you need to eat like you already have that tissue in order to have the materials to build it. Mm-hmm. But you can't get fat, obviously, right? So, but yeah, I think a lot of people undereat because
they don't get fat.
Yeah, but I think if you combine real intense training with more food and then the right cardio prescription, you can eat more, right? And so You feel your body. That way, when you start your contest prep, you're eating a high amount of calories. And I didn't drop her calories until, maybe a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Nice.
So she was eating like 2,300 calories.
Wow.
During this whole prep, and she was getting leaner, right? So.
What a great
So
diet.
her body's, yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It felt great this whole time.
Yeah, so her body's functioning well. Her metabolism is functioning well. And so I didn't have to drop her calories until just a few weeks ago. And that was a big benefit because she could maintain a lot of that muscle.
Yeah.
So far, it's been great. I think we've accomplished what we wanted to. We'll see what the stage is like.
What are your hopes for her? Keeping in mind that she did top 5 on her first try, which is very, very impressive for the USA. What do you think she's going to do this year? I mean, it always depends on who's showing up. I know, I understand that, but as far as her being her best.
Well, my perspective in this sport is 2 things when you compete that I would call a success. You do better than your last show, right? So improving her placing, but also showing up with your best physique to date. So those are the 2 goals. Where that fits, right? Everybody wants their client to get their pro card, right? And do I think she has the potential to do that? Absolutely, right? But we don't know who shows up in that class that day and all those things. But I think she's a very big threat to do that. I know she's improved her physique it'll be her best ever. So now we just got to see where the chips fall come show day.
So you've done your job.
Yes, we still have work to. Well, we still have work to do, right? We're 8 days out. Like, it's funny, right? People say, I'm sure she gets this. All competitors get this. Like, even when I've competed, they say, "Oh, so are you ready?" And I'll always tell them, "No, I'm not." And they kind of go, "Oh, you're not?" And I'm like, "No. If you're ready now,
48 hours."
Yeah. All that matters is that you're ready on show day, right? Like, and I think a lot of people battle. A lot of competitors really struggle with that mental component the last few weeks because they're flat, they're tired, they're depleted. They don't look amazing. You shouldn't look and feel perfect this far out, right? And that's a weird concept.
Yeah.
But it's a process of creating that end look. So on stage, that's the finished product. And if it's beforehand, then it didn't work right? So she'll be ready come show day, right? I think she looks amazing now, but I'm excited to see what these next 8 days, how her physique changes.
Well, Justin, thank you for coming on camera. Where can people reach you? Do you still take on clients, or are you on a waiting list right now?
Very limited, yeah, because I spend a lot of time managing the gym.
Yes, you do.
So I take on limited clients,
All right. So where can people reach you for that?
Just on my Instagram, Dees Muscles.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
You can't just assume everyone knows you're.
It's at Dees Muscles. Yeah. So.
Justin, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You bet. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. So how does that make you feel to hear him talk? I'm sure he's not the type to give you compliments all the time because he wants you to keep working hard. How does that make you feel to hear him say what he said today?
It feels really good. When I know I'm doing my job, I'll turn around, I'll look at him, and he just looks at you, smiles, and just nods his head. And that's when you know you got the okay by the sensei. You're like, okay, you're doing a good job. So it feels really, really good. I'm really excited for this show.
Well, I don't even think I remember that you did so well last year. So based on all the improvements you've made and how great you already did last year, I have very high hope for you. You're great. You have a good attitude. You're very positive, and you bring a good energy to the gym. And I think it's always good to have a good aura. So I wish you the best of luck in 8 days, and I hope that once you become a pro, you grace us with your presence again on the show before your first pro outing.
Of course. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you, Jay, for everything. I appreciate you guys.
Dave Mad Max 6 with Peyton Hunton, 8 days out from the USA 2021. Keep an eye out for this girl, and we're out.